So how's this? Recently, I was emailed by not one, but two best-selling authors. And as an author myself, how lucky am I? Or, as it turns out, how unlucky am I? My name is Sorry, I'll start that again. My name is Al Shield, operator of this YouTube channel, One Man Many Plans, radio announcer by trade, and once every so often, I write books. Some of those books include this one, which became this one, this one, this one, and also this one. I've got 9 books available on Amazon in print and ebook version currently. And apart from the radio one, they're all full of guns, explosions, and cyberware, because I couldn't get enough of cyberpunk when I was growing up. And in case you're wondering, I make roughly just enough money from book sales each and every year to afford one of these. And not a really good one either. Now this is famous American author Rebecca Forster. Hailing from Southern California, she's released over 40 books and counting now, and is an Amazon and USA Today bestseller. Once upon a time, she even landed by tailhook on the USS Nimitz because she wanted to truly experience what she wrote about, which I think you'll agree is super badass. I don't think she has a problem buying coffee with her revenue. So not being a big reader of general thrillers, I have to admit I have never bought nor read any of Rebecca's books. But that's okay, because I have a sneaky suspicion that, not writing cyberpunk, I reckon Rebecca has never bought nor read any of my books either. Well, until I got an email from her. Yes, amazingly, when she's not taking on a weapons course for research for her latest book, or sitting down at a writing desk throwing herself into her latest project, it seems she likes to troll Facebook for teeny tiny author pages like mine, so she can reach out personally and connect, itching to hear about my author story. How could I not believe that with this incredible email?
Hi there. I hope you're doing well. My name is Rebecca Forster, and I'm reaching out as a fellow author who admires connecting with writers dedicated to their craft. I recently came across your work and was genuinely impressed. If you don't mind sharing, I'd love to know what first inspired you to start writing. I find every author's beginning meaningful and insightful. Thank you for your time, and I look forward to connecting. Warm regards, Rebecca Forster.
Now, honestly, why wouldn't a prolific best-selling American author like Rebecca pause from her latest thriller work to catch up with an Australian author that barely advertises his work at all via a very quiet Facebook page, from her own free Gmail account and everything? And so, since she took the time to write me, I returned the amazing gesture, penning her a thank you note. But in my incredible excitement to chat to someone so successful, I wrote it so quickly, it was full of mistakes. Mistakes so obvious, Rebecca would probably giggle so hard she'd fall right off her ergonomic writing chair.
Hello, Rebecca. Lovely to hear from you. I'm a big fan of your early independent releases like the Chattanooga Chicken Coop. I couldn't put that one down. I really hope you professionally publish that one again one day. I'm very curious, which work genuinely impressed you? I have a feeling it was The Summer of Santa's Sledge, or perhaps Memories of the Bush, not a political memoir. Either way, how is Southern Wyoming treating you? Regards, there.
Now, at the time I wrote this, it was mid-afternoon on a Friday, and Rebecca must have been on a writing break because she got back to me in record time, thanking me personally for remembering her earlier days that never actually happened.
Thank you so much for your thoughtful reply. It truly made me smile. And I have to say, your sense of humor in your titles is part of what makes your work so refreshing. To answer your question, the piece that genuinely impressed me was The Summer of Santa's Sledge. What first pulled me in was the unexpected blend of warmth, wit, and emotional honesty. The way you balanced light-hearted moments with deeper themes felt effortless, and it's the kind of storytelling that stays with the reader long after the final page. I found myself rereading a few lines simply because of how well they were crafted. And thank you for mentioning the Chattanooga Chicken Coop. Hearing that from a fellow author means more than you know. You may have just convinced me to revisit that manuscript sooner rather than later. Southern Wyoming has been treating me well. Quiet, inspiring, and the kind of place where ideas seem to find you. I'd love to hear more about what you're currently working on or what projects you're excited to explore next. Writers with your creativity always have something intriguing in the pipeline. Looking forward to continuing our conversation. Warm regards, Rebecca Forster.
With a glowing review like that, I almost wish I did write a book called The Summer of Santa's Sledge now. But it seems whoever is pretending to be Rebecca here hasn't done any homework at all. Happy to bask in the praise for a book she never wrote and celebrating one that I created just to trip her up. So I pointed out that sadly, the jig here was definitely up.
Oh dear, isn't this a pickle? Rebecca Forster never wrote that, nor lives in Wyoming. I never wrote The Summer of Santa's Sledge. Back to bullshit school for you, it seems. Feel free to look up legitimate employment rather than whatever this email random authors you find on Facebook scam on your way out. Try not to get hit by a bus. Bye now.
Now, your average scammer would probably cut their losses and exit stage left at this point because the sham has been discovered. However, Rebecca replied back with an apology.
Thank you for your candid message. I genuinely appreciate you taking the time to respond. I completely understand your concerns, and I want to clarify right away that the mix-up in my previous message was an honest mistake, not an attempt to misrepresent anything about you or myself. I take full responsibility for the confusion, and I truly apologize for how it came across. To be completely transparent, I am an author myself, and my intention in reaching out was simply to connect with fellow writers whose journey and work I appreciate. I am not pressuring you for anything, nor am I involved in any form of scam. I value professional integrity deeply, and I respect your work and your time. Here is my official Amazon author page for verification. I hope this helps clear up any concerns. If you're comfortable, I'd also be grateful if you could share your own official book link or author page so I can support your work accurately. Again, I truly apologize for the earlier confusion. My goal was, and still is, simply to build genuine professional connections with fellow authors. I wish you continued success in your writing, and I appreciate your understanding. Warm regards, Rebecca Forster.
Now, I don't know if the 2026 Guide to Author Scamming features a section on I've been rumbled, how to apologise your way out of it, but Rebecca hasn't been the first random email where a mistake has led to an instant apology response. Ava, the so-called marketing expert, emailed to tell me she loved my book, The Last Survivor, which I've never written. And when I pointed that out, I got a
Thank you for taking the time to reply, and fair point. I appreciate you calling that out. You're absolutely right. The reference I mentioned doesn't belong to you, and that's on me. I work with a high volume of authors, and in this case, I clearly matched the wrong title to the wrong name. I understand how that looks, and I apologize for the confusion.
Meanwhile, Lydia, the book reviewer, was so excited to share her review of a book that also wasn't mine. So I pointed that out too.
Thank you for your message. I completely understand your point, and you're absolutely right to call out the mismatch. That one is on me, and I apologize for the confusion caused.
She then kept asking if I'd like her to review a book that I'd actually written, but amusingly, I said no. I didn't want yet another author with a similar name scoring a free review by accident again. Now, just on a side note, all of her reviews on Goodreads all occurred at the very start of this year, and everyone got 5 stars, naturally. Oh, I'm going to start a book review service and then email every email address I can find on Facebook about it. Anywho's, back to the fake Rebecca. After telling her I'd pass her correspondence back to the real and actual author Rebecca, which I would do if I knew her legitimate address, I received,
No pressure at all. I just want the best for you. Wishing you continued success in your writing journey. Warm regards, Rebecca Forster.
and then, no more than 60 seconds later in my inbox,
Hi there. I hope you don't mind me reaching out. My name is Saul Herzog, and I'm an author myself. I wanted to introduce myself and connect with you as a fellow writer. I enjoy connecting with other writers, sharing experiences, and supporting one another in this often challenging publishing journey. If you're open to it, I'd be glad to stay in touch and learn more about your current projects. Wishing you continued success for your writing, and I hope to hear from you soon. Kind regards, Saul Herzog.
Now, because Saul is a dentist, we can't show you his face on TV. Sorry, wait. That's a classic Australian TV commercial.
Morning, Rob.
Let's try that again. I can't show you Saul's face here because it's a pseudonym or a pen name. People have tried to guess who Saul really is, but for the sake of this video, who he actually is remains a mystery. He's also not me, by the way, in case you're wondering. What's not a mystery, however, is Saul's book trail features the highly praised Lance Spector series, all 9 books. On Amazon, it reads that he's one of the publishing industry's most successful and sought-after thriller authors, and his books have garnered thousands upon thousands of reviews. Whoever Saul happens to be in real life, just like Rebecca, it seems in his writing downtime, he enjoys fishing through Facebook to meet people like me, sending them an email via their page to introduce themselves and connect. How nice! Even nicer was the fact that his email showed up literally the same minute I parted ways with the fake Rebecca. Now, what are the odds of that, do you reckon? However, based on recent experience with a lot of other emails full of author possibility, I can pretty much see the path this would go down. I'd respond with an email that contains some very obvious mistakes that the true author couldn't miss if they tried. However, whoever is pretending to be them will miss them completely and pretend everything is normal. I'll point out they've been tricked, they'll apologise profusely with a ready-to-go email via AI, citing that it's all on me, and continue the path of wanting to connect and find out what I'm working on, so on and so forth, etc., etc. So what's the end goal here of people pretending to be best-selling authors when they're obviously not?
So my original thoughts were it's got to be about the money, because that's what pretty much every single scam is about. The victim loses money, the scammer gains money, and then disappears by the time the victim has worked out that they are actually a victim and they've been scammed. And I found out that my gut feeling was right. These kinds of scams are all about money. But when I put this particular question to Perplexity.AI, just to see if it went a little bit deeper, I found out that yes, it does go quite a bit deeper than that.
In almost every case, the end goal is money or data. They want to funnel you into paying for fake services, marketing, agent referrals, reviews, forwards, podcast spots, or harvest your personal/financial details for later fraud. Common end goals. Selling bogus services. After some flattering back and forth, the best-selling author introduces a trusted marketer, editor, agent, or podcast host who can take your career to the next level, but only if you pay fees for promotion, reviews, placement, or evaluation. Credential and payment theft. Some impersonators ultimately steer you to pay via bank transfer, PayPal, or similar, often to odd third-party addresses, or try to get logins to KDP, email, or bank accounts via phishing links. Data harvesting. Others mainly want more direct contact info, social profiles, and sometimes home address or legal name, which can be reused in future. More targeted scams are sold on. Long con upsell chains. A few schemes pass you from famous author to agent to editor to marketer, layering fees at each stage. The well-known names involved are real people, but every email address in the chain belongs to the scammer.
And suddenly with that, the friendly notion of a successful author reaching out to help those who aren't so successful goes flying right out of the nearest window. Just like Nigerian princes with millions of dollars they need help getting out of the country, or attractive people on Instagram who saw your post and have instantly fallen head over heels for you, it's all a lie. Short term, medium term, long term, the flattery is there to reel you in and hustle you right out of your hard-earned. If you're new to writing at an independent level, I truly hope I'm not the first one to warn you that there's some very dodgy people and businesses out there. Be they friendly offers like Saul and Rebecca sent me, or not the genuine versions, people offering up paid reviews or promising to publish your book once you pay a high fee. This isn't how publishers work, by the way. Usually they pay you to publish your book because they feel they can make money from it, not the other way around. If an offer seems too good to be true, it usually is. If you can't find anything online about a particular business supposedly an expert in promotion, avoid. And if anything gives you even a minute pause of hesitation, run it past your local social media authors group to see what they think. Scams are getting more creative year on year, so take the time to protect yourself as much as you can in your writing quest. Other advice from legitimate authors can be both game-changing and, in this case, money-saving. Speaking of legitimate authors, if the real Rebecca Forster or Saul Herzog ever sees this video, I hope they're both well and wish them the best of luck in their next book. If they need an expert for something in their publishing, however, it's best not to ask me. All I'm getting emails from at the moment are complete idiots.